devices, taunted one another with Shakespearean epithets, and made witty comments about the periodic table. We stayed up late going over our notes one last time, through parties where we studied together for history finals. On Saturday nights, instead of getting drunk and hooking up, we popped popcorn and watched Pixar movies. It wasn't that we were anti-fun. We just made a group decision to save ourselves for college. The only problem was, I didn't get into college. I'd applied to 12 institutions of higher learning and got rejected outright by 10 of them, including my safeties. I got waitlisted by 2 of my likelies, but neither one came through in the end. I got shut out, just like the kid, and accepted, except it was nothing like that because he was a slacker and didn't deserve to get in. I totally deserved it. I mean, I got a combined 2230 on the SATs, super scored, but still, and had a GPA of 3.8, all honors and APs, top 10% of my graduating class in one of the premier public high schools in the state. Student council rep, stagehand for the musicals, helped start a recycling program in the cafeteria. I ran cross-country all 4 years, even though I hated every tedious mile. But I did it just so I could list a varsity sport on my transcript. Every goddamn miserable thing I ever did, every shortcut I avoided, every scrap of fun I missed out on, I did it just so I could get into a decent college. And none of it mattered. My guidance counselor insisted that it was just a freak occurrence, a perfect storm of bad luck and rotten demographics, a record year for applications, too many international students, preferences for minorities and athletes, a need for geographic diversity, blah, blah, blah. But come on, not to get in anywhere? Even when kids from my own high school with lower grades and test scores got into colleges where I was rejected? Where's the fairness in that? There was no logical way to explain it, but that didn't stop people from trying. Maybe I was too well-rounded for my own good, or my recs were underwhelming. Maybe my essay was pompous, or maybe it was pedestrian. Maybe I hadn't done enough to set myself apart from the crowd, should have written about my lifelong passion for shoemaking or my desire to someday design prosthetic limbs for transsexuals who'd stepped on landmines. Or maybe I just aimed a little too high, which was possibly true for Dartmouth and Brown, but those were my reaches, so that's the whole point. But what about Connecticut College or George Washington? Was that really too much to ask? April of senior year was such a nightmare. Everybody else was all excited, hugging one another and squealing with delight, the future unfolding before their eyes. Colgate, Hampshire, UVM. And then they'd notice me and everything would get all awkward and quiet, almost like somebody in my family had died. People just kept moaning and shaking their heads, telling me how sorry they were, how unfair it was, a complete injustice that shook their faith in the entire system, and I kept telling them not to worry. I'm on the wait list at Duke and Grinnell, I'd say. I'm sure something will pan out. The second time Lieutenant Finnegan pulled me over, just a week after the first incident, he was all business. He took my license and registration, went back to his car, and wrote me a ticket for failure to obey a traffic sign, a moving violation punishable by a $100 fine. "Oh, come on," I said. $100? That's crazy." "You have the right to contest this citation in the district court," he informed me in a robotic voice. The lights on the police cruiser were flashing lazily, the whole neighborhood pulsing with red. "Should you choose to do so, you must notify the court of your intention within 20 days. I didn't reply, because there was no point in going to court. I'd definitely rolled through the stop sign. I wasn't about to deny it, but I thought he could cut me a little slack. It was 10:30 at night, and I was driving on a quiet side street out by the conservation land. I'd just made my final delivery, a lousy $1 tip, thank you very much, and there was no one else around, no one except for Lieutenant Finnegan, hiding on the dark street with his lights turned off. "Shit," I muttered. "I can't believe this." "Excuse me?" Lieutenant Finnegan shined his humongous flashlight in my face. "What did you say?" I raised my hand to block the glare. "Nothing. I was just talking to myself." He clicked off the light and leaned in. His broad